Hello, hello. The topic of the week is networking, and specifically networking on purpose, with purpose, instead of by accident. So if you listen to Monday's show, that's where I really got into detail about what do I mean by accident, like what does that look like versus on purpose, and actually tapping into a network that you didn't know you had, but you have it, right? It's so really kind of getting networking one-on-one for tech managers, or networking, it could be one-on-one, it could also be in a group as well. But what I meant to say was networking 101 for tech managers. So definitely encourage you to listen to that one if you haven't yet. It's sort of like the foundation, because today what I'm going to get into is even more detail on how you know if your networking is working. Is your networking working? Because look, you can't know if you're really kind of doing this purposefully and doing this intentionally, and whether it's effective if you don't know how to measure it, right? If you don't know have some way to assess, okay, this is actually a good thing to do. Like, what's the yardstick for success when it comes to networking? Because you could think that, like, yeah, I'm showing up on purpose, and I'm networking and I'm having coffee with lots of people, going to lots of meetups, I'm going to lots of conferences, I'm connecting with people, lots of people on LinkedIn and on Slack and in various different groups and things like that. It may feel like you're doing this purposefully, and that's great, and that's a great step in the right direction. But at the end of the day, if it's not effective, it's not really worth your effort, is then really. Except for, yeah, you get to meet a lot of great people and you get to learn and grow and share with one another. And that's great, right? But at the end of the day, you have a career to build. You are on a mission. You are a woman. You are a man on a mission right now. And because you're looking to upgrade your career, you're looking for a promotion, to earn that promotion. You're looking to land that OMG hell yes job that's really going to be a step up for you, and you're not just settling. Or you're really just looking to upgrade some leadership skills, to really dial stuff in. Whatever those leadership skills might be, so that you can show up more fully as a leader and perhaps not work your butt off 50 plus hours a week in the process. That'd be nice too. So you have a mission right now. And while it's cool to just connect with people for the sake of connection, and I talked about that in the last video, at the end of the day, what's the outcome here? You want that job. What's the outcome here? You want that promotion. What's that outcome here? You don't want to have to work 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours a week. You want to work more like 40 hours a week and not have to kill your nights and weekends on Slack and email. So that's why it's so important to make sure that what we're doing is actually effective and is actually working. And so there's lots of different ways to assess your networking efforts. And a lot of it is going to depend on your individual goals and what winning looks like to you. Like, what do you need to do? What needs to happen so that you win? What's a win for you? What is upgrading your tech career? Like, what's the ultimate outcome? What does upgrading your tech career look like for you? What's the ultimate outcome? And where are you right now in comparison to that? And then what are all the little waypoints along the way so that you can get there? And that's going to vary from person to person, because like for some of you, it's about, the main metric is going to be money. And it's going to be, okay, I'm at 150K a year right now, and I want to get to 200. The waypoints along the way are 160, 170, something 175, and then another promotion to get to there, another promotion to get to 200, right? For some of you, it's about, like I said, working fewer hours. So it's going to be like, okay, I'm working 80 hours a week now, and I want to get to working 40 hours a week. So it's going to be going from 80 to 60 to maybe 50 and then to 40. For some of you, it's about what are the steps to really land that job, right? I need to get leads. I need to go on interviews. I need to get yeses from those interviews. And then I need to go on, and then I need to negotiate the offer and then say yes to that offer. And so those are some of the more common kinds of paths that we lead people on. But look, even for those kind of more straightforward paths towards success, whatever success might be for you as a technical manager, there's always challenges that come in the way that you're up against that require some tweaking and require some recalibration of what is a good number, like what is a good salary, what is a good number of days, hours per week that you're working, what is a good timeline for you. And for some of you, you're not going to fit into any of those boxes. For some of you, like the idea of fitting into a box is like, you're like, no way, no how, I don't fit into a box. Boxes are afraid of me. I am so out of the box, they're afraid of me. So in that case, it's really getting clear on what does a win look like for you. And then that's the only way that you're going to be able to assess any of your efforts to upgrade your career, let alone assess the effort of your networking efforts. But just to throw a couple of ideas out there so we can throw a couple of specific examples and then you can take it from there, is that, for example, if you're on the job market, and a lot of you are, about half of our clients at any given time are on the job market, and you want some help with that because it's not working. Like you're either not getting the interviews you want, the leads you want, or maybe you are getting interviews and you are getting offers, but they're not for jobs that you really want. You'd be kind of settling, but you're kind of afraid to kind of stretch the boundaries of your comfort zone. And how do you do that? And so networking is like a main step in winning on the job market. If you skip networking, you're not going to win. Or you just might, but you're going to get lucky. And you're not going to learn and grow along the way. And then when it comes time again to go on the job market, because usually that's what happens. Very few people stay, especially nowadays. Start talking about the old days. You can tell I'm getting old. You can see the gray hairs coming in. So especially now, most people have several jobs before they retire. So you might get a job by accident. Like, that's cool. You might get an awesome job. But what did you learn? How did you grow through that process? And like, you missed out on a huge growth opportunity. So then when it comes time again to go on the job market, you're not going to know what you're going to do. And it's going to be even harder. So if you're on the job market, networking is a huge piece of it. It is absolutely essential. And I talked on Monday about kind of what are the ins and outs of networking. What does that really mean? What does it really take to network? And so if you're on the job market, the number one way to assess your networking efforts is to count. A simple count. We can try to keep this as simple as possible here at the People Stack. We do not like to overcomplicate things. To assess your networking efforts when you're on the job market, it's a simple count. How many interviews have you been on for hell yes jobs? Not all of the interviews, because I know that some of you, possibly all of you who are in the job market, have gone on some interviews and it was not a hell yes job. Just to clarify, a hell yes job means if you get the offer, you say, hell yes, this is awesome. This is upgrading. This is going to stretch my boundaries. This is exactly what I want to transform my tech career. In other words, you're not settling. It's not like if you're, for example, I talk with people all of the time. It happens all of the time where people might be looking for, they're on the job market, but also they want an upward move, not just a lateral move. So you might be, for example, a software engineering manager or some kind of, technical manager, and you've been doing it for a long time. And the upward, the outlook for upward mobility at your current company is just not looking good. And so you kind of decided you want to leave anyway. So you're going to go on the job market and you're going to use this as an opportunity to up level to director. to director, possibly VP level positions, like director or VP for smaller companies. And that's really the hell yes job for me, for you, right? Director. You're going to become a lead of leads. And yet you go on interviews for manager jobs. Those don't count. We got to be honest with ourselves. Those do not count because you're settling. So that's how you assess your networking efforts. How many interviews have you been on for hell yes jobs? And I can't give you, oh, this number's good, this number's bad, because it's really going to depend on how long you've been on the job market. It also going to depend on what market you're in, whether it's a big city or whether it's a small town. It's also going to depend on how competitive that market is. So, for example, if you know that you're in a super competitive market where there's very few jobs available, you're going to want to go on as many interviews as you possibly can. And that might be hard if you're in a market where there's very few jobs available. But for there, you want to go on as many as you possibly can. I mean, and obviously, the more the better in any case. But if you're in a market where there's lots of jobs available. I mean, especially for the kinds of positions that you're looking for, like it might be senior manager kinds of positions, upper level manager, technical management kinds of positions, and you're in like a bigger city, like you may only need to go on 2 or 3 interviews, and then that's enough, because it's like there's not that many people looking for those jobs in the first place. Like everybody's looking for the individual contributor jobs. And so you're like the diamond in the rough to the people looking for those manager positions. So that kind of happens. So there's no like, okay, this is a good number of interviews to go on. That really requires a conversation and a look at your context. How long, where are you looking? What kind of jobs are you looking for? What market is it? But it's really like, here's the red flags. So if you've been networking consistent, and it also depends on how long you've been networking as well. Like if it's only been a week, give it some time. Just throwing that out there. But if you've been on the job market and consistently networking and trying to do it as purposely as possible for longer than a few weeks, and you don't have any interviews yet, your networking is not working. Bottom line, if it's been 3 to 4 weeks and you don't have any interviews yet for OMG jobs, your networking's not working. It's taken too long. And so then it means you got to take a look at what can I up level. Here's another sign that your networking's not working. It's actually the opposite, where you've been networking for X amount of time, let's say a month or so, and you've been on 20 interviews. Whenever I hear really high numbers like that, it's a red flag. Because most likely that means you're counting jobs that you really shouldn't be. It also means that you're probably setting your sights too low. It also means that you have absolutely no clarity in terms of the kind of jobs that you want. And you're just like, ready, fire, aim, let's just see, And what that actually means is we got to go a step before networking, which is clarity. Like, if you're going on tons and tons and tons of interviews, that's a problem, right? And that's a sign, not necessarily that your networking's not working, that your clarity is not working. You don't have clarity on the exact job you want. Because look, you only need one job. Why are you going on 50 interviews? Like, it doesn't need to be that many. I think the record was, I talked with somebody who was, gosh, I can't even remember now. I don't have my notes available, but it was hundreds. She was on the job market for about 6 months, but it was hundreds of interviews, hundreds, Jens. I lost count. 500 plus interviews. That's a huge red flag. Now, I know that in that case, it's going to be an outlier, right? But really take a look at what interviews you're going on and you're also going to use this to assess your networking efforts as well. So if it's too much or too many interviews, then you take a look at networking, and also you take a look at your clarity. So then if it's, okay, I'm not getting enough interviews or I'm getting too many interviews, then how do I fix this? Well, that's really where it takes an expert conversation to take a look at it. It's kind of like, hey, doc, I have a headache, right? Like a headache could mean a lot of things. Same thing. If you are networking and you're not getting the results in terms of landing interviews at those awesome jobs, it could mean so many things, and it really requires an expert diagnosis. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And that's why you're going to book a call with us if you're in that position where your networking isn't working and you want to diagnose what exactly is going wrong here so that you can fix it. It's time to book a call. It's thepeoplestack.com/book. Because look, we're not just going to be like if I were to just say, okay, here's the problem, here's how you fix your networking, it would be kind of like going to a doctor and saying, hey, doc, I have a headache. And he doesn't really ask you any other questions at all and says, oh, you have a headache? Here's a morphine. Fixed. Now, granted, if you have a headache and take a morphine, it's probably going to go away. Probably. But there's going to be some side effects, and that may be way too much. And it's only going to get rid of the headache temporarily, and you're not getting at the root cause of what's not working. That's what we can help you do. And it's the same thing if you're looking for an internal promotion as well, right? And so this is where people miss, right? Oh, I have to network if I'm looking for an internal promotion? Yeah. It's all a series of conversations, folks. It's about building trust, building rapport with people, and moving those conversations forward. That's how you land a job. That's how you get a promotion. That requires networking. Networking is building authentic, trusting relationships with people. That's what it is. With more people, and I almost said with as many people as possible, but honestly, it's about the depth of those relationships as opposed to the breadth of those relationships. I'd rather see you have 10 to 20 trusted people in your sort of tech leadership network, and you're really trusted, rock solid rapport, as opposed to like 500 LinkedIn connections for people who just clicked and said, yeah, sure, I'll connect. Yeah, sure, I'll connect. So, but it is the same way. There's still networking that happens. And really the way that you're going to assess, or one way that you're going to assess, the other ways are going to depend on your situation, but one way that you're going to assess whether or not your networking is working if you're looking for an internal promotion is really, and this is more qualitative than quantitative, but it's really kind of assessing your ally, your main ally, who is usually your boss. Your boss is going to be your main ally in most cases to helping you get that promotion. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the boss is the person in the way, right? It's the blocker. And there's another ally that's going to help you get that promotion. So that main person who's going to advocate for you to get that promotion, you want to assess how much does that person know, like, and trust you? And how much do you know, like, and trust that person? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is this person really your advocate? And is going to go to bat for you and is going to do everything that she or he can to get you that promotion. That's how you're going to assess your networking efforts internally. And really what this networking effort is going to be about a series of conversations with your boss, but it's going to be about a series of conversations with other people as well that are also going to increase the trust in your relationship with your boss, because it all comes full circle. It's small world, folks. Cue small world theme. So that's really what it's about. And if you're feeling stuck with networking, if you're feeling stuck in your particular situation because there's lots of challenges that are getting thrown at you, and it's just really hard to make heads or tails of how to assess your networking or how to make this all work, it's time to book a call with us. thepeoplestack.com/book. We're going to get really clear in terms of what's going on right now, either whether it's your networking or maybe something else, right? That it often, like, you start with networking and it often opens a Pandora's box of just stuff that needs upgrading, approaches, strategies, shifts that you need to make in order to really win and upgrade your career, command a premium salary of at least $200K a year, get that promotion to director or VP, and do it all while having a wonderful work-life balance. There's lots of little bits and pieces. There's lots of puzzle pieces that kind of come into play, but we can certainly start talking about it from a networking perspective, like what's going on there. And then we're the experts, we're the expert diagnosticians. We will help you get clarity on exactly what's not working. And if we're 100% confident that we can help you, we are going to let you know. Here's what it's going to take for you to upgrade your career, and here's what it would look like to work together. If we're not 100% confident, or for whatever reason it's not going to be a fit, then we're still going to steer you toward resources that are going to help you. That's what's going to happen on that phone call. So book it today, thepeoplestack.com/book. So again, the message of the day is your networking working? Do you even know how to assess it? If you haven't been assessing your networking efforts, it's time to start doing that. If you haven't been networking at all, it's time to start doing that as well. So that is the truth, the message of the day. So that's it for now. Take care, everyone. Talk to you again soon.